Q, we're facing cuts to harm reduction, EMS, and mental health services and housing, all while the APD budget remains untouched. We have an already bloated police budget that takes up almost 40% of our general revenue. There are millions of untouched dollars sitting in the police budget due to 300 staff vacancies, and those funds need to be reinvested into critical services. We're constantly asked by city elected officials to make a choice, between life-saving services and other life-saving services, but we say no. Rather than making the impossible choice of funding one critical service over another, we're asking the city to reallocate our resources because we need it all and we have the money for it all. The city needs to rethink their financial commitments to the police department, and if they don't reallocate this proposed money, they're proceeding at the expense of life-saving programs and resources with no real solution. They will continue to sweep people with nowhere for them to go, and if they choose to fund policing over critical services and resources, they will do so with the knowledge that they are turning their backs on unhoused folks and city workers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Bryden Summers, AFSCME 1624.
Good morning. I'm Bryden Summers, President of the American Federation of State County Municipal Employees, Local 1624. We're the union representing City of Austin and Travis County employees. We've been told since Prop Q failed and it became clear that the city would vote on a new budget that now is the time for hard decisions and hard discussions. We've been hearing this from some council members, that we need to evaluate all of our spending, and we've been seeing it from the city manager, both in a memo and discussions that he's been having, saying we must scrutinize all options to make sure that we're going to become more efficient and optimize our services. And we recognize the financial constraints that we're now under and that we'll continue to deal with year after year due to the city's budget deficit. But the one hard discussion that's been missing in this conversation is the police budget. In this scenario, where their contract specifically mentions the possibility of renegotiations if a tax rate election were to fail, that door has seemingly been shut and we can't explore it. Even worse, city leaders might still have other opportunities for looking at the police budget, but we have not had that discussion either, and that is a shame. Our members, the employees that make the City of Austin run, deserve to have a consideration about how police affects the whole city budget. The public deserve a conversation about where some of that money could be better spent for the sake of efficiency and optimization. I'm grateful for the work of these community and grassroots organizations that are here today that have taken the lead on forcing that conversation. We now have a common sense proposal to take just 1/3 of the vacant positions in APD's budget, which will not realistically be filled over the next year or the following year, and we can take that $13 million and put it towards programs that directly affect the citizens of Austin. That money is sorely needed, particularly for the other public safety departments whose needs weren't met in Prop Q and who were left behind again in this proposed budget. That money could be the difference for the people in our community that have the least resources to get the services that they desperately need. And that is the hard discussion we need to be having. AFSCME is proud to stand in solidarity with this coalition. The budget deliberation should be about funding a city that serves its residents. We're in this fight together because we share those values and we have workers' backs. The community has our workers' backs and we have their backs, just like we do every day when we're on the job. We're not going away on these issues. In fact, most hard decisions don't get solved unless you have the hard discussions, and so you can expect that we're going to do that today, we're going to do that this week, and we'll do that in the following years. Thank you.
Next up and last up, we have Alfredo Reyes Jr. with Vocal Texas.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alfredo Reyes. I'm an organizer for Vocal Texas. We're a grassroots organization that built power with low-income people who've been impacted by homelessness, mass incarceration, HIV, AIDS, and the drug war. I joined Vocal Texas as a member at first and was homeless at the time and living on the street with my partner and my dogs. In 2023, someone from the campsite told me about city cold weather shelter and decided to go. I had never heard of these services before, or nothing was ever posted anywhere. After that, I got connected with services. They got me rapid rehousing and vouchers and got housing. Then I got a job with Vocal Texas. I'm one of the lucky ones and one of the lucky members of our community that got access to resources. Those resources I got off the street and into housing. Those resources helped me work on my health and helped me get a place, and I was able to get some work with Vocal Texas. Now I'm upset because Prop Q fell in the federal government and cutting things like SNAP, Medicare, housing money. That means fewer people will get access to resources and opportunity like I got. More people in our streets will suffer, and our entire community will suffer. Now, just to let you know, for the last few weeks, I've been doing outreach at some campsites, and they were swept. Now, mind you, according to the news, it keeps on saying that this is trash. I witnessed some of these sweeps, and this is people's survival gear, identification, pictures, family, things that they use to survive on a daily basis. Last week, we came to City Council with people who had been swept. These people share their stories and ask the city to stop sweeps and invest in more, but will actually help people. Things like shelter, rapid rehousing, with help to get them off the street. Instead, we are all back here once again today because while shelters and rapid rehousing and many other things get cut, by the millions, APD budget remains exactly the same. I asked myself, how can this be? APD has 330 vacant positions that they can't seem to fill. That means money is just sitting unused. Why not reallocate some of that money to help people? At the moment where Trump administrative is attacking poor people, why not help us? What do you think will happen if poor people in our community have less access to food and shelter and face more policing? It would just lead to more sweeps, ticketing, and arrests. What we want, the City Council must reallocate money away from APD and put it towards housing, services, and care for people. They cannot double down on funding police at the expense of shelter beds, rapid rehousing vouchers, services like permanent supportive housing, and many critical programs that help people. These are all programs that help me, and these are the things that we want funding for the right now. If we don't get these fundings, people out here are going to start suffering, and we're tired of this. I mean, the reality is, there has to be a budge. I mean, someone has to budge, and we believe that APD, we should be able to get money from APD and be able to help the community. Thank you.
Thanks so much, guys. There are so many services on the chopping block today that make the lives of Austinites better. By focusing on just the police, we tell folks who live here that they don't deserve truly comprehensive public safety. We don't get domestic violence shelters, quick responses when our families are sick, and accessible mental health professionals. That's a bad deal. The city can make it better by cutting as much as legally feasible from the police budget and investing in the services that make a day-to-day difference in our lives. Thanks so much. We're happy to take individual questions when we disperse here in just a second. Thanks, guys.